art students, we are going to have some fun using art to solve fractions and to learn about fractions in our art integration time. This is going to allow us to solve everything from, oh, Miss Russ has a mess. Let's see. We are going to do everything from how to compare fractions up to how to solve really complex fractions using this handy trick and tool we're going to make in the art room. So let's tilt you down and get started. Okay, you will have a checklist, and in that checklist you are going to end up making a plate that is your whole plate, because this is one plate. It is whole. It equals 1. Why? Because there's one of it. One plate. We are also going to make a half plate and fourth plates. Notice that on the back of these, it's first off have to be in the right color, so our whole is in black, red for the half, and green for the fourth. And then on the back, we are going to write our names like this. We're going to write the word, our name, and then we're going to flip it, and we're going to write name. And then when we look at the sides, do you see how there's that little red line? And then if I go to this side, there's another little red line. That means we are going to end up cutting from red line to red line. So when we write, I'll spin this so you can see it, 1/2, we want to make sure we're on one side of the line. Now if we mess it up, that's okay. We can just rewrite it. But otherwise, there's the other half. Same with a fourth. I find my little lines. See that? I've got 4 of them this time. And then I want to make sure that when I do my writing, I am staying away from those lines so I don't end up cutting through my words. Then when it's time to cut, I grab my scissors. This plate can be tricky to cut, and you're always cutting. See that little guy? You're not cutting here, you're not cutting there. You're finding the little poke out piece. And I'm going straight down, and I'm taking care to aim towards my other line. Right? And then I'm aiming towards it. Huzzah! Now when I go this direction, I don't have a line to aim towards, so I just got to visualize that I'm going straight across. Okay? I will end up doing that to all of my plates. Once that is done, I'm going to have a half plate, and I'm going to have some fourth plates, and we will also end up making some third plates. Okay, now let's dive in and see what can we do with all of our stuff. So, what we need to realize is, how many plates do I have right here? 1. It is 1 and it is whole. I have not cut in it. How many plates, or how many half pieces does it take to make one whole plate? Well, it takes 1, and then I wiggle them so they slide in, and then 2. So when we see this 1/2 here, which equals half, what we need to realize is that bottom 2 means that there are 2 pieces, and that top 1 means that this is 1 of the 2. So I can write one whole in 2 different ways. I can write it as 1, but I can also write it as 2 halves. The 2 on the bottom means that there are 2 pieces, and if I were to count them, I would have 2 of them. Well, the same is true here, so let's try some more. Here's 1/4 piece. Now if I were to add in another fourth piece, I have 1, 2 fourth pieces. So I would write this as 2, and then there are 4 pieces total, so the 4 goes on the bottom, 2/4. Okay? We know that 2/4 equals how much? That's right, it equals 1/2. Okay, let's keep going. If I put all my pieces down there, so now we have that it was 1, 2, and then look, how would I write out this one? How would I write out that one? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. I have 3, so that goes on the top. And what are those pieces called? Fourth pieces, because there are 4 of them. If I put down the last one, we would see that 1 whole equals 4 fourths. Okay, we now can use that to do some math fun. So, we look at this first piece right here, and I got out my half piece and put it here, and I got out my third piece and put it here. Oops, slide this up so you can see. Which is bigger? Oh, well, we know that this 1/2 is bigger than 3/4, because that 3 doesn't mean counting, it means that there are 3 total pieces. And so the third piece is smaller than the half piece. So you're going to solve a bunch of these, and then you're going to bring it to the teacher, and we're going to see how it went. Then, once that is done, you're going to get a little bit more complicated. Now we're going to switch to, Miss Russ has to find her board, stuff like this, and it can help to put down my whole piece to help me count. So if I take 1/2 piece and I add it to 1/2 piece, what do I get? And how many different ways can I write this answer? Same is true here. Now this gets a little bit complicated. I have 1/2 piece and I have 1/4 piece. So when I put those on my whole, here's the thing to realize. You can't add pieces together if they're different colors. See how those are different colors? I have to make this all the same color. So what could I replace this 1/2 piece with? So I want you to think inside your head, what could I replace this 1/2 piece with so that all my pieces were the same color? Then now I would just have to add them up. I have 1, 2, 3 fourth pieces, and then that means the 4 goes on the bottom, because to make a whole, I would have to have 4 pieces. Then it gets even trickier. This is where you're going to end up making new plates. And so you might be adding things where it's 1/3 plus 1/2. Well, Miss Russ, my fourth pieces can't cover that third. I can't cover this half piece with the thirds. So that means that I am going to end up making a plate full of 12s. Now technically I could do 6, but we're not going to get into that. We're going to go to 12s. Notice that this one's going to be tricky. I have to write right along the edge, and then when I do my cutting, I have to be very careful to line things up. The other trick will be, Miss Russ is going to flip this so you can see it. Static, if her tape is being sad. I also recommend, see how after I cut, I put them all together and then I put the alphabet on them, so that way I know what order they all go down in to lay flat. So if I was going to do this, I would have to switch to 12 pieces. So I would put all these down here, and then all I would have to do is count how many 12 pieces it took so that all of them are the same color, right? And it gets a little trickier because your puzzle gets trickier. So then I could add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1/2 plus 1/3 equals 10. And then what number goes on the bottom here? That's right, 12ths, because there are 12 of those total pieces. Okay, that was a lot of information, and you're going to start at the very beginning, and you're going to take your time and slowly go through the process so that you can learn how to manipulate and work with fractions. Happy math making! Bye!